edition of WeatherScope is sponsored by the Subaru Outback. Test drive the world's first sport utility wagon.
This is WeatherScope.
Severe thunderstorms, flooding rains, and blizzard conditions are the major players of a dynamic storm system dominating two-thirds of the nation. Good evening and welcome to this edition of WeatherScope. I'm Bob Stokes. We're seeing a spring-like scenario play out in the southeast today, and that means potentially severe weather. Not only potentially, it's been going on. Mike Bono joins us now from the Forecast Center with more.
Thanks a lot, Bob. It has been going on since probably late Friday. We had some weather moving on through Texas, some severe weather, even overnight in West Texas Friday. It spread through the Gulf states, hail and wind damage, and now has made it to the Carolina coastline. Let's take a look at some severe weather watches and tornado watches. Our thunderstorm watches in east and middle Tennessee, and that area encompasses a lot of east or west Georgia and eastern Alabama. And we have had some reports since this watch has been issued, even of a funnel cloud over Coweta County, Georgia, with some golf ball size hail. And now warnings are cropping up in Tennessee and eastern Alabama even as I speak. A tornado watch to the south. We've had some severe thunderstorms and dangerous lightning in this area. Even Coffee County, Georgia, about 10 o'clock this morning had a tornado with some damage, and on into Appling County, Georgia. We had wind damage with an injury and a tornado without any injuries, all in or both in Appling County. Also North Carolina, a thunderstorm or a tornado watch is still in effect, and that goes on for another couple of hours. So the threat area is, as you see, all the way up to about Virginia Beach, Virginia, parts of Florida, even the Maine Peninsula, and up to southern Kentucky, where the storms seem to be building right now. Look at the color on this map. If you look up at the top, 6, 8, 10, 11 inches of rain. Yeah, that's right. Southern Alabama down to around Gulfport, Mississippi, and Mobile, topping out at over 11 inches. I think it was in Biloxi, Mississippi, at Keesler Air Force Base. And the yellow and the oranges come in just in 7 a.m. Eastern Time as 3, 4, 5 inches of rain. So a lot of rain, including Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta has had some flooding. The Chattahoochee River is running high. As we can see, Peachtree Creek. We had Sweetwater Creek moving through Austell running high, and in Marietta, Georgia, Soap Creek and Mud Creek have been going up and out of their banks there, and ill-advised motorists trying to negotiate some of that water around Atlanta, Georgia. So as you would gather, there are some flood warnings and watches in the area. Rivers out of their banks, and even a dam broke in the town of Elba in eastern Alabama earlier on, and 6 feet of water in the town downstream from that dam. So the dark green areas on our map are the ones to watch for in Georgia down through the Florida Panhandle and in Alabama. Watches, those are the flood watches, but there are some counties and rivers that have warnings even now. As low pressure moves on up through Tennessee and Kentucky, that's where the lowest pressure is, but this front is very active, and so is this warm front, the cold air to the west, which we'll talk about in a minute, having snow connected with it. But look at the way this rotation, the circulation is moving through Arkansas. That's cold, low pressure aloft. A lot of tropical moisture out ahead of it, giving birth to some of those tornadoes and thunderstorms, and a second colder air mass giving birth to new thunderstorms. The Atlanta area, still some locally heavy rain after getting pounded earlier, lining up near Columbus, Georgia, and some of the counties in northeast Alabama still with some severe thunderstorm warnings, like Marshall and Blount County right about here. But as we look on into North Carolina, still thunderstorms, still a threat around Myrtle Beach, but not like the tornado warning you had in Horry County earlier. But they're starting to line up in East Tennessee. We have severe thunderstorm watches in Sumner, Davidson County, around Nashville, Williamson County, and some of those even as far east as White County, Tennessee. And the Gulf Coast, we have special marine warnings around the Tallahassee area on the coast, Pensacola and southern Alabama. Take a look at that lightning. I don't have to tell you, you don't want to deal with that cloud-to-ground lightning. It's deadly, and it's around in much of the southeast. So the situation hasn't played itself out yet. We still have some danger involved in the southeastern severe weather situation. If you want to stay with us, if you're away from your TV set and on the computer, weather.com will tell you just about everything you want to know. Back to the studio.
Thanks a lot, Mike. The other aspect of this storm is the snow. Residents in parts of the plains are experiencing near blizzard conditions. It's still going on. Tremendous amounts of snow have fallen. You can see that in that area of southwestern Iowa, a foot of snow. That doesn't tell the whole story. We've seen drifts up to 8 feet in and around Des Moines. And we have accounts by farmers of 12-foot drifts just outside of Des Moines as you start getting into the rural areas. So tremendous snows too in the mountains of the Rockies in Colorado. But here's a look at what's causing it. It's the interplay between this Arctic air. You know, we finally got some Arctic air in here. It's March, now it comes down, and then with the strong winds associated with this low, you see, look at this counterclockwise flow. It's really creating low visibility, so driving is not encouraged here. And even the rain, it's really drizzle coming down at Midway in Chicago. That will change to snow tonight, by the way, and could be a mess for commuters tomorrow along the Eisenhower Expressway. But snow coming down significantly in Oshkosh and Appleton, Wisconsin, in Green Bay, getting into Des Moines, and even in the northeastern part of Kansas. There's winter storm warnings in effect for portions of northern Missouri. There's a look at it. It's the northern and western side of that big low that Mike was showing you, bringing the storms in the southeast. So the snow's really being whipped around by northerly winds from 20 and to some cases 45 miles per hour. And you can see the snows too in La Crosse, Wisconsin, getting around Rochester, Minnesota.